welcome to Wheel Talk. I'm Recappa Sedai. Today we'll discuss The Eye of the World, Chapter 27, Shelter from the Storm. Not a lot happens in this chapter, but we're gonna make it fun. We have fun here, believe me.
Who loves long books and tiny warders? Who's so over the Amerlin's orders? Who loves making every novice cry? Recappa Sedai.
Oh, that's me! So, spoiler-free recap. Hang on one sec. Wynonna? I would like a glass of wine. Yes, the usual! As fast as possible! God, she's the worst. Perrin, Rand, and Egwene have been traveling with the Tinkers. The Tinkers move way too slowly, stopping way too often. Perrin can't stand it. But the Tuatha'an have no worries. As long as someone's awake, there's always music in the camp, everyone's super happy and unbothered. Elias seems worried about something. When Perrin says they should leave the Tinkers, Elias is like, nah. Let's rest a few days. What if we bring Trollocs and Fades down on these people? It's not like they can help us fight. They'll all die and it'll be our fault. Something tells me to wait. Can you be more specific? Relax, lad. Take life as it comes. Run when you have to. Fight when you must. Rest when you can. Why won't you just say what's coming? 'Cause I don't know. I just have a feeling. Okay? You wanna go? Go. I'm staying. Egwene seems to be having a grand old time just dancing and hanging with the Tinkers. On the second night, the Tinkers play a slow song. Women slink into the light, loosening their shawls, moving to the drums. It probably looks like this, just like really sexy, you know? Oh, thank you so much, Wynonna. I thought you had forgotten about me, but it turns out you're just really slow. The women watch Perrin while they dance. It's seductive and hot, and Perrin is way out of his element. He blushes and looks away. The women get a kick out of his reaction. Every night after, they repeat this dance. Egwene eventually joins them. Elias tells Perrin, they almost never do that dance, but they love how much it embarrasses you. Thanks, guy. I've been loving it. Egwene is getting closer with Aram. He's given her a strand of blue beads that she started wearing. Perrin manages to pull her aside one night. Enjoying yourself? Why shouldn't I? I thought you wanted to be an Aes Sedai, and I thought you wanted me not to. Do you honestly think we're safe here? No, I think we're in danger no matter what. Enjoy yourself, Perrin. It may be the last chance we have. Egwene runs off with Aram. I'm just gonna read this line because it grates on me. As they ran away to where fiddles sang, Aram flashed a triumphant grin over his shoulder at Perrin, as if to say, she is not yours, but she will be mine. Aram's a jerk to Perrin. I do not blame Egwene for wanting to party with this guy, whatever his personality, but Aram enjoys using Egwene to needle at Perrin. If I were Perrin, that would get under my skin. The Tinkers may see themselves as enlightened or superior, but some of them are still just dicks. Anyway, back to the chapter. The Tinkers make lots of passive-aggressive comments about Perrin's axe. Perrin doubles down and starts wearing it with the blade exposed. During the days, he senses Dapple, Hopper, and Wind keeping their distance around them. At night, Perrin has dreams of the Tinker camp being attacked, but those are just regular nightmares. Then one night, he dreams he's at Alsbeth Luhan's kitchen table, sharpening his axe. A wolf walks into the house and lays down. Alsbeth Luhan is cooking, she doesn't notice Perrin or the wolf. Then Ba'alzamon walks into the kitchen, and Mistress Luhan doesn't notice him either. Ba'alzamon's like,
oh, you brought a wolf to guard you. How quaint.
Ba'alzamon crooks a finger and the wolf bursts into flame. Perrin flips out. Mistress Luhan stirs a cooking pot like nothing's happening.
You cannot hide from me. If you are the one, you are mine. The eye of the world will consume you. I mark you mine.
Ba'alzamon opens a fist like he's throwing something and a raven flies at Perrin. I spilled wine everywhere. Its beak stabs Perrin's eye. He screams and wakes up. Ah, my eye! Perrin checks his eye, but there's no blood. It's almost dawn in the camp. Outside the camp, wolves howl. Perrin can hear their sensations. Elias shows up at Perrin's side. Time to go. As they collect their things, Rain comes out of his wagon. Rain inspects the sky. Perrin can't tell what he's looking at, but Rain seems to sense something. Rain tells Elias the Tinkers will be going a different way today. Elias says they won't be going with them. Elias refuses a farewell feast, but Rain insists they wait until everyone says goodbye. Rain wakes everyone up, and the Tinkers say goodbye to Elias, Perrin, and Egwene. Aram draws Egwene aside. Perrin watches them argue. Eventually, Isla cuts in, and Aram storms off. Rain gives them a formal farewell, and Elias says, I will find the song, or another will find the song, but the song will be sung this year, or in a year to come. As it once was, so it shall be. World without end. The Tinkers reply, world without end, world in time without end. Perrin, Elias, and Egwene leave the camp. Elias says, so I don't believe in their fool song, no need to mess up their ceremony. Dapple, Wind, and Hopper greet Elias. Perrin catches their conversation. They're telling Elias about the Dark One in his dream, which he doesn't love. Perrin asks Egwene, you spent a lot of time with Isla when you weren't talking with Aram. What were you talking about? She was giving advice on how to be a woman. Well, no one gives us advice how to be men, we just are. Yeah, well, probably why you do such a bad job of it. Elias cracks up. And that's the end of the chapter, yes! I'd like to take a moment to thank our new Patreon members, our new Wilder, and we love Wilders here, Belisarius, and our new novices and soldiers, Kraken Knuckles. Work, welcome to the Littlest Tower. Congrats to you both on your new status, and a huge thanks to all of our patrons. This episode is brought to you by patrons. The next part of this video is the 13th Depository. I'm gonna dive deep on the chapter, and there might be spoilers. So if you haven't finished reading The Wheel of Time, I recommend not watching this part. I don't want to spoil the books for you. We don't do that here, no. And if you haven't finished the series, some of this just might not make sense. I pronounce this meeting sealed to the flame. Something's been bugging me this whole episode, like something's missing, and I just realized I'm not wearing my Sierra. What the hell's wrong with me? You probably didn't even recognize me this whole episode. My hair's in my face. Okay, 13th Depository. Let's start by talking about Aram. When we meet him, he's kind of an ass. When he breaks away from the Way of the Leaf, I don't really feel for him. The person I actually feel for when that goes down is Isla, not Aram, because Aram's a douche. Here's where I'm going with this. Early on, I never see Aram's good side. To be fair, it's partly because it comes through Perrin's POV, but Aram doesn't show the kind, welcoming nature that all the other Tinkers do. Even before his family's killed, he already seems to have a mean streak. I'm curious to see Aram on the show because I think it would be way more effective if I got to like him a little bit in the beginning. If he was a really nice guy and welcomed Perrin like all the other Tinkers, and then seeing his family murdered changed him, that would be interesting. As it is, I feel like Aram's arc is he starts the series being a jerk for no reason, then he has a good reason to be a jerk, and then by the end of the series, he's also a crazy zealot on top of that. That to me is not an interesting character arc. I would really like to see some kindness from Aram early on, so that later I feel like he's lost something. Otherwise, I don't need to keep reading about him. Let's talk about this dream. In our first episode of Tarvalin After Dark, which is a podcast you should be listening to, we talked about Ishamael's use of dream shards. When it comes to these dreams, my honest theory is RJ just hadn't decided on his rules yet, and he wasn't exactly sure how the dream stuff would pan out. I think the whole point dream shards were created was probably to explain away some of the confusing stuff that happens in earlier books. And I still think that, but I don't think all the Ishamael dreams are dream shard dreams. Ishii doesn't need dream shards to access the boy's dreams, and in this case, it doesn't really make sense. If he pulled Perrin into a dream shard, why is the guardian wolf there? Did he pull the wolf in by mistake? Dream shards help explain what happened to Rand at the Eye. Absolutely. But do dream shards help this scene make sense? I don't know. The really weird part of this dream that we should talk about is when Baalzamon says, I'm marking you as my own, and he throws a raven that pecks Perrin's eye. That's weird. Ishamael does brand Rand in the second book, but it's nothing like this moment. Throwing the raven at Perrin's eye seems super different. Also, throwing a raven who pecks out your eye seems like something that should happen to Matt. The symbolism doesn't make sense for Perrin. So this dream brings up questions for me. Is the shadow actually marking Perrin here, and does it not work because he's not the Dragon Reborn? Another big question of mine that I've mentioned before, and I'm sorry I can't shut up about it. Why doesn't Ishii kill the boys in these dreams? It's a perfect opportunity to just take out all 3 ta'veren. I know the answer is that at this point, the Dark One doesn't want the Dragon Reborn killed. It's come up before, earlier in this book. But it drives me crazy. It would be so easy. Every time he shows up in their dreams, I'm like, you have a perfect opportunity to just take out one of the 3 people who could stop you. Just do it. Just do it. Why are you bothering to figure out who's who when you could just kill all 3 of them? I know, he's doing what the Dark One wants. I'm saying what the Dark One wants doesn't make sense. It's just plot armor, and it gets on my nerves. If these early dream sequences— my hair's in my mouth. Yeah. If these early Ishamael dreams weren't in the show, I would not miss them. I think it would make the story more real for me. It would make the Dark One make more sense. I think these Baalzman dream sequences make the Shadow less scary. I would love to ask everyone watching, do you think the Raven pecking Perrin's eye has some larger meaning that I'm missing? Was there something to that moment? If I'm missing something, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. That's it for this time. Thank you for watching. If you could like the video and subscribe, that would be fabulous. It helps the channel. If you'd like to support Wheel Talk and help us keep going, the best way is to sponsor the show on Patreon. There's a link in the notes. All levels of contribution are amazing. We love our patrons. And until next time, walk in the light and keep it wheel.